Clerk, can you confirm that CS Energy is present? Thank you. We will now proceed with question number 001 by the Senator from Marsabit County, the Honorable Mohammed Chute. Honorable Senator, you may proceed to ask the question.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. My question is question 001. If you'll allow me, I start with question A. Would the Cabinet Secretary explain why Tari Adi, Doob Gindole, Dogogicha, Isako Muro, Ol Gabraskim, Saleswa Rio, Konso Banchale, and other villages in Marsabit County remain without electricity connection despite the installation of electricity transformers in those villages? Question B, what steps has the government taken on operationalization of all electricity transformers installed across Marsabit County? Question number C, would the Cabinet Secretary also indicate the level of access to electricity in Dubgoba, Garkarsa, Wario Duba, Manyata Konso, Karatina, Kofiambaya, Parkishon, La Cartiña, Nasikakwe, and in Marsabit County, and explain why the government is doing so, to achieve what is the government doing in achieving full electricity coverage in those villages? Question D, Honorable Speaker, what is the status of requests for installation of electricity transformers and extension of electricity connection in Ilpus, Kituruni, Kubibagasa villages in Marsabit County? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Welcome, Cabinet Secretary, and please you can proceed and answer.
Thank you, the Honorable Speaker. First, for your indulgence, I was supposed to have been here first thing in the morning, but I did agree with my colleague, CS John Mbadi, that we swap the times because he had some other engagement elsewhere. Honorable Speaker, before I go to specific questions raised by the Honorable Senator Mohammed Chute, let me make some general statement that Marsabit County is among those counties, especially in the northern corridor and parts of coastal region, that have for a long time suffered historical marginalization. The county of Marsabit, among other counties in that region, have been left behind by the successive administrations since our independence. And this has made them not to be able to compete effectively with the rest of the country, and especially on matters electrification. And that's why this administration under President William Ruto has taken a deliberate step to ensure that affirmative action is applied to bring parity, to achieve equity, insofar as development is concerned generally, but specifically to ensure that matters electrification is dealt with in an equitable manner. Honorable Speaker, therefore this administration has adopted a multi-pronged approach, and specifically for Marsabit County. This entails, first and foremost, ensuring that Marsabit County is connected to the national grid. We want to ensure that Marsabit County is connected to the national grid for the first time since independence. And how? One, by constructing a transmission line 45 kilometers from Loyangalani wind power farm to Loyangalani town. A project that has delayed inordinately, but a project that we are now able to commit that come December this year shall be complete and we shall commission it. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker. That will enable Loyangalani town and its environs to enjoy power, quality, affordable, and reliable power for the first time from the national grid. Honorable Speaker, it is not conceivable that power can flow all the way from Loyangalani wind farm, all the way from Loyangalani to Susua, here in Narok, bypassing the entire swath of Marsabit land. It's not conceivable. And that is what we want to correct under this administration, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, secondly, we want to unlock the very, very important transmission line project that runs all the way from Loyangalani to Marsabit and equally from Isiolo to Marsabit. By doing so, we shall actually make it possible for power from the national grid to extend to most parts of Marsabit County. That project, which is being financed by Exim Bank of India, is at the tail end of actually conceptualization. What has delayed it a bit is just the matter of the scoping, which had to happen. And we are more than convinced, because as we speak, Exim Bank is going through the paperwork. And we are more than convinced that before the end of this year, we shall do a groundbreaking. That is another commitment I want to make to not only Senator Mohammed Chute and not only the people of Marsabit County, but to the people of the Great Republic of Kenya. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Marsabit County, which is comprising of 4 constituencies, that is Saku, Moyale, North Hor, and Laisamis, has got one of the most interesting disparities, if I may call it so. Because in terms of access to electricity, Saku, because of its sheer size, it's the smallest of the constituencies, is seen to be having a high access, about 60-something%. Yet, when you go to the extreme side, extreme end, North Hor and Laisamis, it is 1.2% and 1.8% access rate. That is serious, massive disparity that this administration has made deliberate plans to address through the efforts we have put in place. Honorable Speaker, Marsabit County has been deliberately placed among the 14 counties that are benefiting from the Kenya Off-Grid Solar Access Program or project, the COSAP. And Marsabit County alone has benefited or is benefiting from about 1 billion shilling worth of those projects. About 10 mini-grids covering across the width and breadth of the county. Okay? And some 6 or so boreholes. Honorable Speaker. So allow me, therefore, and I've already spoken to my good friend, the Honorable Senator, Mohammed Chute, that I will be engaging him further, offline, over and above this formal presentation. I'll be engaging him further, together with other leaders from the county, to ensure that we fast-track these projects. That is one of the commitments that I have to make before this Honorable House. So therefore, Honorable Speaker, allow me, and I don't want to actually belabor the point, because I have already submitted the answers. On question number 1, which is question 60 what? In the order paper. Okay. That's fine. I'll just proceed. in terms of reasons why those areas that have been listed, okay, remain without electricity connection, despite the installation of electricity transformers in the said villages. Honorable Speaker, REREC, which is our implementing agency, has mapped out and undertaken preliminary works, that is survey and design, of a number of the areas for the implementation in the current financial year, and others for consideration in the next financial year, of course, subject to budgetary provisions. And details of the actual status of the areas are shown in the table 1 in my response. I don't want to belabor that. Honorable Speaker, part 2, the steps the government is taking to operationalize all the electricity transformers installed across Marsabit County. I want to say that a total of 8 schemes are in different stages of metering in the county. And upon completion, approximately 800 customers will be onboarded. And all the associated transformers will be commissioned in order to realize the benefits anticipated by the government of Kenya. In addition, some parts of Marsabit County have witnessed insecurity cases, which has caused movement of people and hence leaving the already installed transformers fairly idle. The government is engaging various stakeholders to foster peace and restore normalcy. Part 3 is about access levels of electricity to those areas mentioned in that question, okay? And what the government is doing to achieve full electricity coverage in those villages. Again, in line with what I've said in my opening remarks, Honorable Speaker, the status of electrification and electricity access in the above villages is as shown in table 2 of my response, Honorable Speaker. The identification, scoping, and electrification of unelectrified areas is an ongoing activity until universal electricity access is achieved. We don't want a situation where we talk about universal access by 2028 or 2030, Honorable Speaker. And yet, many parts of the country, especially from northern Kenya, are left far behind. So that is what we want to correct. Part 4, Honorable Speaker, the status of the requests for installation of electricity transformers in those 3 villages. Honorable Speaker, the status of electrification in the above villages is as shown in table 3 of my report, Honorable Speaker. And that is as far as the first question is concerned.
Thank you very much, Cabinet Secretary. Senator Mohammed Chute, would you prefer to ask your second question and then ask supplementaries thereafter? If we can combine the questions.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me ask my second question, and then I will ask my supplementary questions thereafter. Honorable Speaker, my question number 068. A, why has the last mile connectivity program not been implemented in the entire Marsabit County, despite similar programs being successfully rolled out in most parts of this country? Question B, what steps has the government taken to ensure Loyangalani, Kargi, Kor, Forole, and all other areas in Marsabit County without electricity are connected? C, could the Cabinet Secretary provide details on funds allocated for last mile connectivity projects so far in Marsabit County, the contractors involved, and the project timeline for their completion? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Cabinet Secretary.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Before I respond, let me just make a clarification. I did mention about the transmission line project from Loyangalani to Marsabit and Isiolo Marsabit. It is being financed by the Exim Bank of China, not India. And the company which is contracted is a China Water and Engineering Company. Thank you. Honorable Speaker, the first limb of the question is about why the last mile connectivity program has not been implemented in the entire county, despite similar programs being successfully rolled out in most parts of the country. Again, an issue I've talked about at length in my opening remarks. But let me say this, that since the inception of last mile connectivity projects. The government of Kenya has implemented a total of 29 projects worth some Kenya shillings 30.1 million and connected 1,466 customers to the grid in Marsabit County. The details of the connected customers across the various constituencies is as shown in the table 5, of my response. And Annexure 1, which is attached, provides the breakdown of ongoing projects in the county. So the steps the government is taking to ensure Loyangalani, Kargi, Kor, Forole, and all other areas in Marsabit County without electricity are connected. Again, Honorable Speaker, the status of electrification in the above villages is as shown in Table 4 on page 7 of my response, Honorable Speaker. Part 3, details of the funds allocated for the last mile connectivity projects so far in Marsabit County, the contractors involved, and the projected timelines for their completion. Honorable Speaker, over and above the completed schemes, the government of Kenya has allocated some Kenya shillings 4.5 million for last mile connectivity via grid solution as per the table on page 7. The target completion date is Q1 of the financial year 25-26. The government of Kenya has further allocated Kenya shillings 2.0579 billion, approximately US dollar 158.3 million, for connectivity via off-grid solution, as per the table on page 8. The sites are currently being handed over to the various contractors, and the target completion date is the end of financial year 25-26. The annexures 2 and 6 provide a breakdown of all projects funded in Marsabit County at various stages of implementation. Honorable Speaker, I submit.
Thank you very much, Cabinet Secretary. Senator Chute, supplementary questions?
Honorable Speaker, I'm really impressed by the CS, and I don't have any further supplementary question. I will follow whatever questions I'm going to have. I'll be having a meeting with him, maybe on Tuesday, and thank you very much, Bwana CS. I really appreciate what you've done. You've done a very good job. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Eddie Okech.
Mr. Speaker, just to steal 30 seconds from Senator Chute, that today it was the experts who are coming in the House, and you've seen that in all instances, experts have answered their questions very well, to the extent that there is no supplementary questions. But that said, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to ask the CS for energy on its last mile connectivity project. Is there a proper strategy that integrates the prioritization of projects with areas that are facing serious insecurity and they are remote areas that then needs a bit of lightening to be a bit of lighting those villages and homes to be able to deal with the insecurity? In particular, Mr. Speaker, for Migori County, if you look at an area like Gwitembe, where we have got in Kuria, Mr. Speaker, there is no proper electricity in those areas. If you look at a place called Apida in Migori Town, a place called Mabera in Suna East, Mr. Speaker, as well as a few pockets of areas that I would be very keen on, like Wangirabosa, as well as places in Kokelo, in central Kanyamkago. And lastly in Rongo and Awendo areas, there are places that have got serious pocket of insecurity that I wish that the CS gives us an idea of prioritizing those areas in terms of giving them electricity so that they can be able to improve security in those areas. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator James Kamau Murango.
Yes, asante sana Mr. Speaker. Swali langu ambao litaenda kwa waziri ni moja tu, kwa sababu kama eneo la Gichoko katika Kirinyaga unapata ya kwamba kuna nguzo ziliwekwa miaka 3-4 za stima ambayo haijawahi kamilishwa, kama ile inaitwa Getemani na maeneo mengine katika eneo la Kirinyaga. Sasa nilikuwa nauliza waziri kama hako na mipango ambayo imenakiliwa ya kufanya kuhakikisha kwamba stima zinafika kwa wale ambao wanahitaji stima katika maeneo bunge yote, na kama iko tunafaa tufuatiliza wapi? Kwa sababu Mr. Speaker, kama mimi seneta wa Kirinyaga, mimi mwenyewe nililipia transformer miaka 3 iliyoisha. Miaka 3. Maafisa wenye wanafaa kupigiwa simu na kuchukua ili tuweze kufuatilia, wachukuangi simu zetu. Sasa kama mimi mwenyewe nahangaika kupata stima, swali ni mwananchi wa kawaida atawezaje kupata stima? Hiyo ndio swali langu Mr. Speaker.
Senator Senior Counsel Mugeni.
Thank you, Waziri. I wanted to write on the question by Senator Chute and ask a supplementary question to Waziri. I begin by thanking you. Last time you came to Nyamira, you visited 2 constituencies, West Mogrango and Kitutu. I just wanted to know from the minister, from the CS, whether he has plans to come and finalize the connectivity for Borabu constituency. And the request that was made for an upgrade of phase 1 to phase 3 of Tinderedi region, so that business people are able to have connectivity to their machines and really spur the growth of the economy. Could the CS kindly tell us what plans he has for that particular constituency and that upgrade to phase 3? Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Joe Nyutu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And before I put my question to the Honorable CS, it's important, Mr. Speaker, because we are in an honorable house, that we separate things that we say in political areas with what we say here. Because I say that, Mr. Speaker, because Senator Eddie Okech talked about experts. As far as I know, Honorable Opiyo Wandayi is a trained lawyer. He is not an expert in matters energy. And so it is important that we say he's doing a good job without calling him an expert. My question, without calling him an expert, Mr. Speaker, because we are misleading. There are students waiting.
Senator,
there are students here.
Senator.
Yes, Mr.
Senator, I gave you an opportunity to ask
Fine,
a
let me ask my
question. So
it
please
was
just ask the
I
question.
was just setting the ground. So, Mr. Speaker, my question to the Honorable CS is, and I am very impressed, by the way, by the... Mr. Speaker, can I be heard in silence?
Senator
I'm
Eddie,
very impressed.
Senator Eddie, what is your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, I'm standing on 105 in terms of the misrepresentation of facts, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, unless John Nyutu has got law degree that the CS for energy got without my knowledge, I would want him to go and learn about his CSS, to understand their background, to understand why we call them experts, to understand their experiences coming into the position that they are, Mr. Speaker. And I don't want us to go under 101 where you discuss the persona of the CS in terms of his qualification, but I can assure John Nyutu that the CS expert does not come only by education, but it also comes by experience and contribution in other dockets that the CS has served in. CS Wandayi is an expert in energy in terms of being able to ensure that all communities get those energy supplies, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Joe Nyutu. Please restrain yourself to just asking your supplementary question. We don't have much time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, but you know I have a right of reply.
No,
I want to assure Senator Eddie, I hold a degree.
Senator Joe Nyutu,
Okay,
Senator
fine,
Joe
Mr.
Nyutu,
Speaker.
if you open
Let me
that
ask
door.
my question then.
Thank you.
Let me ask my question then. But Mr. Speaker, it's important that you do not take a teacher to an operation room and call him an expert when he's not a medic. But Mr. Speaker, my question was, Mr. Speaker, my issue was with the, and I'm very impressed, by the way, by the job that Opiyo Wandayi, the CS, is doing. That is not in doubt. The only problem I had, Mr. Speaker, was with misleading students.
Okay, Senator,
so my
just
question
ask your
is,
question.
My issue then is, Mr. Speaker, that with the very good program that the CS has put, especially about Marsabit County and the larger northeastern region, Mr. Speaker, we all support that. But then my question to him would be, because there are regions in this country that are thought to be advantaged. But in those regions, Mr. Speaker, there are people, for example, who are not connected to power. So then my question to the CS is, what are the plans by the ministry to see to it that even as we do affirmative action in the regions that have been disadvantaged, that we also connect power to those in the regions wrongly thought to be connected, all of them. So what is the plan? Because the plan must be for all Kenyans, not just for some regions. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Hezena.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I know that I appreciate Waziri for the good job that he's doing. And as far as you know, that I like that you have really focused on the north, but particularly just one county and forgetting that the north has almost 10 counties. Particularly in Samburu County, you know that we have had serious cases of insecurity, and we appreciate the current administration for giving us a tarmac road from Maralal to Baragoi. But I would like to know, are there plans put in place by your ministry to ensure that we have electricity connectivity within Samburu North to make sure that we open up the region for trade and to make Samburu County an area that is worthy to be pursued by investors, and also to restore education and security in the region? Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Hezena. Senator Hezena, for your information, the question posed was in regards to Marsabit. So the CS was not ignoring any other region in the country. He was addressing the question put by Senator Mohamed Chute. No, it's okay, Hezena. I was just informing you. Thank you. Senator Mariam Sheikh.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I thank Waziri for the work he's doing. Mr. Speaker, the plan he has demonstrated to the House, to Marsabit County, Mr. Speaker, for the plan, which end up Senator Chute to not having an additional questions. My question is, Mr. Speaker, what is the plan? Because the ministry has had the cry from Mandera many times, Mr. Speaker. So what is the plan? And is it in the current budget, Mandera to be connected to national grid, Mr. Speaker? Thank you.
Senator Beatrice Akinyi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to congratulate the CS, whom we call in our region and in other regions that have worked with him as an intellectual. And indeed, Senator Nyutru, he is. And that is why our side of the coalition donated him to government to do that kind of work. But my question is this, Honorable Speaker. Just last week, Honorable Speaker, just last week, when we had Madaraka in Homa Bay County, the CS did very commendable work. He launched the last mile connectivity of the county in my own constituency, in their constituency. My question to the CS is, Mr. CS, can I get an assurance from you that all those facilities we launched at Ochol on the day the president was there, that they will be taken care of in terms of last mile connectivity? I'm saying this, Mr. CS, because Homa Bay County has had the highest number of faulty transformers in this republic, which goes down to Ndewa as a sub-county. So all that you launched at Ochol, can we get an assurance from you as your constituents that the transformer issues and last mile connectivity challenges will be tackled, so that we are not just used as a launching pad and no services are given?
Thank you, Beatrice. And to correct you, it is not Mr. CS, Honorable CS. And in your case, you should be Honorable Expert CS. Thank you. Senator Mungatana, last question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there was a time we were engaging as senators in our committee with members of the Chamber of Commerce, and I asked them, why is it that you don't encourage your people to come and put industries in Tana River County? We have a lot of land, and we can give you certain facilitation from the county government so that you can erect industries. Mr. Speaker, the answer was very simple. There is no power to support industrialization in Tana River County. So, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to ask the minister, as I congratulate him in considering Marsabit and the plans they have, what other plans does he have for this northern coast area beyond Malindi? Because the line we have can only be for domestic consumption. It cannot support any form of industry. So, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to hear from him what he can do so that our people can also have in Tana River opportunity to get industries that will come there and to create jobs for our people. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator. Cabinet Secretary, you may proceed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I'll go straight to the questions. First is the question by Honorable Senator Eddie Okech. Really, Honorable Speaker, let me just say this, and this covers both Honorable Eddie Okech and Honorable Kamau's questions. That, first and foremost, we have a plan for every part of this country, as a ministry, and indeed as government. Every county, every constituency, every ward is factored in our plan. And therefore, and secondly, Honorable Speaker, in implementing our plan for electrification countrywide, we have adopted a strategy to engage very, very closely with the elected leadership. There is no prioritization that we do without consulting the local leadership, and especially members of parliament, both National Assembly and Senate. Many a time you have seen me hosting delegations of MPs from various counties. That is part of the consultative process that then arrives at prioritization. So the areas that are insecurity prone of Migori County, and the areas I'm very conversant with, Honorable Speaker. Yeah, there are areas we are definitely dealing with in consultation with the local leadership, led by Eddie Okech, Senator, my good Senator of Migori. Similarly, the issue of Kichugu in Kirinyaga County. It's unfortunate, perhaps, that there are poles which have been lying idle for some time, and that there is payment for transformers, which is yet to materialize, Honorable Speaker. This is an issue, of course, I will be taking up with the relevant agencies in my ministry, but I want to encourage Honorable Senator Nyutu to not shy away. Just come forward and visit me in the office. Yes, and I will deal with this matter conclusively. Honorable Senator Okongo Mugeni, it is indeed true that I made a visit to parts of Nyamira County a couple of months ago, and that I left out Borabu on account of time constraints. I have got plans to not only go back to Borabu constituency in Nyamira County, but indeed to go to Kisii County, the neighboring Kisii County as well, and cover all the constituencies in the fullness of time, as a way of acquainting myself with the situation on the ground, but also dealing with the issues that arise therefrom. Honorable Senator Joe Nyutu. Indeed, I've answered that in my first, response, that all parts of this country are taken care of. No single region, no single county, no single constituency, no single ward shall be left out in the grand plan of the President William Ruto-led administration, insofar as matters energy and electrification are concerned. Even though we are aware that there are a number of areas which have been left behind for a long time, as we apply affirmative action to those areas, we shall not ignore those other areas that are perceived to be advantaged. We shall apply equity, in short. Equity. And every part of the country shall feel involved. The Honorable Senator Hezena, as I mentioned in my opening statement, Marsabit is just part of the wider northern Kenya region and parts of upper coastal region that have been disadvantaged for a long time. If you may recall, Honorable Speaker, not very many months ago, His Excellency the President did preside over the contract signing for the COSA project, a project that is going to take up to about 12 billion Kenya shillings, funded by the World Bank. And Samburu County is benefiting from that project. In addition to other plans that we have for not only Samburu County, but all other counties in that region, and indeed the rest of the country.
Cabinet Secretary.
And in that plan for Samburu County, it's not just Samburu North. Samburu North is involved, is included, Samburu South, Samburu West and East, Samburu West and East.
Cabinet Secretary, I'll just interrupt you briefly. Honorable Senators, we shall extend the sitting of the House for a further 15, not more than 15 minutes, so that the CS can conclude answering the questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I was saying that when it comes to Samburu County, we are not only just talking about Samburu North, we are also talking about Samburu East and Samburu West constituencies. The Honorable Senator Mariam, similarly, Mandera County is in our plan. And we have had very, very many engagements with leaders of Mandera County. We have had challenges, of course, in towns such as Elwak and many other places, yes, on account of outages of power arising from malfunctioning of our gadgets, our generators. We have got a long-term plan to eventually incorporate Mandera County into the national grid. I must have mentioned earlier, Honorable Speaker, that for Marsabit, for instance, parts of Moyale town are served from Ethiopia. Actually, we serve Moyale town entirely from Ethiopia. And there's no harm doing that. There's nothing wrong with that. Because we're actually encouraging what we are calling East African power pooling. That power can be able to flow across the boundaries. That those who need it can import it, those who have excess can export it, and so on and so forth, to make it affordable and cost-effective. There are discussions at an advanced stage between ourselves and the government of Ethiopia to see how far we can extend their power to other parts of that corridor, apart from Moyale. Not forgetting, of course, the fact that we also import that power to Suswa, about 200 megawatts. Okay. Honorable Beatrice Ogola. You know, what we launched, what indeed the President flagged in Kologi, the Kanyamua place, is it Kanyamua there? In Kologi area of Ndiva constituency, was the last mile connectivity project for the entire Homa Bay County. A project which is funded by European Union, EIB, and so on and so forth. And that project is covering almost the entire country, apart from those other counties that are famously referred to as off-grid, which, as I've said, are being dealt with through mini-grid solutions. So that 2.1 billion project for Homa Bay County is not going to stall. because there is adequate funding for it, and we have committed to have it completed by November this year. And Ndewa is definitely part of Homa Bay County, and Ndewa will definitely benefit. And that's the place where we did the launch, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to go to the last question, really, by the Honorable Mungatana, and I'm very happy that Tana River County is now receiving the necessary attention. And my good friend, the Honorable Senator Mungatana, has been at the forefront, really, of championing for the cause of Tana River County and indeed the rest of that region. Those efforts are now yielding fruits, Honorable Mungatana. And I'm sure you are aware, Honorable Speaker, that if I leave out the issue of the transmission projects that we are doing, Tana River County is going to benefit from about 240 million shillings worth of mini-grids under the COSAP program. Some 4 mini-grids will have to be done in Tana River County. And the money is there, they will be completed. It will go a long way towards addressing access to power by the people of Tana River County as we embark on other projects, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow me to end there, and thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Cabinet Secretary. And thank you for appearing to answer questions. At this juncture, we are going to end our session, but I would just like to wish you all the best in your heavy duties in connecting this country to electricity. And we pray for you, Cabinet Secretary. Honorable Senators, it is now 1:04 p.m. and having concluded the business for which I extended the hours of sitting pursuant to Standing Order 34-2A, the Senate stands adjourned until later today.